Hi, everybody. It's Friday night and it's time for PoliTarology. I'm here with a bunch of my good friends who happen to be phenomenal psychics, and we're going to read some politics for you. So, before we get into the actual political questions, we're going to go around the circle and everybody can say hello and tell us what's going on. So, Cleo, hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. I'm just do you hear all the dings coming out of my computer? Anyway,
Yeah,
It's
we
all
do.
of our computers.
We do.
yeah, because all these things just came up on the side of my screen that said PoliTarology, and
Yeah.
I tried to get rid of it, and it went to a new window. So anyway, what you're asking what's going on with me?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I put up another video. I think it was yesterday. So I'd like everybody to go over and look at that. It's got to do with spirit guides, because that's my main thing, but it also has to do with UFOs and what Jesus has told me about UFOs, and in particular the UFOs over Ukraine, which was almost like a year and a half ago. But anyway, please come over and look at that. Now on Monday I have Caffeinated and Unfiltered, and then next Thursday I have Kitchen Table Issues with Marina and Colleen, and on Friday I've got the Cool Crone Oracle.
Woo! You're a busy girl, and I've already watched your video, and it's banging. It's great.
Banging.
Banging. You're so hip. Cleo.
I just like the word banging. And
Thank
Shari,
you.
hi, how are you? What's going on with you?
Well, not a whole lot, I guess. Tomorrow we've got Allie's big 5K party that she's
Right.
doing.
Right.
Tomorrow night is Night Owl Slumber Party at 11 p.m. Central. And I'll have Helen Irish Granny Tarot will be my special guest. And Sunday, Juno from Junosphere turns 2. And so we're having a party. And then, I don't know, regular stuff after that. I don't have my book open.
Very nice. Sounds good. Sounds good. Hi, Val. What's going on with you?
I have something interesting coming up on the 20th of May. That's a Monday at 2 p.m. Pacific time. Deborah Zuckow is coming on to talk about her new upcoming book. It's not out yet, but it's numerology, and it's about tarot and numbers. So another way to look at the cards, breaking it all down, master numbers, and what it all means. So that should be fascinating. And Gerald and I have a class coming up. You guys might want to sign up for that. Manifestation in the quantum field, and that's June 9th. So yeah, that's a Sunday. Dragonflycrystals.store. You can sign up for it.
Very nice. That sounds great.
Yep.
And Gerald, my friend, what is going on with you?
Hello. I have on Monday, I am doing a laugh and learn about human design. And we are continuing our conversation, and I'm looking forward to that. And on Monday evening, Caffeinated and Unfiltered. And we're doing those general readings again. And so these are going to be fast and furious, and hold on to your britches.
Oh, yeah. If you guys haven't seen that one, you need to go back and see the one we did on, when was that, May 6th?
Yes.
Yeah. And that was also banging. I mean, it was
banging.
It was. I mean, we read so many questions.
It was great. It was great. And do like and subscribe to TarotStache, because one more subscription and I get to 2,100 subscribers. There we go. So that's
it. You just need one more person.
I just need one more person.
Okay, y'all, you got the word. Somebody go subscribe right now.
Well,
come on,
and if you subscribe, please stay subscribed.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that
goes without saying.
That is amazing. I was just gonna check to see, because I kind of lost count of what how many people that I have because I'm not at 5,000 yet.
Well, and Book Bewitched, because we're simulcasting, Book Bewitched mentioned I did a great video on Wednesday, a laugh and learn about the goddess Hecate.
Ooh,
It was really, really wonderful with Ken Payne, who's the creator of the Oracle of the Hecatean Path.
nice.
Really, really good.
Oh, nice.
Got it
That's great.
saved. I haven't been able to watch it yet.
So I still have about 140 before I hit 5,000. So I'm still a little ways
Wow.
away.
Ooh.
Wow.
That's close.
I'll get there. And I just released the videos for the full moon in Sag, which is coming up on the 23rd.
Mhm.
So there's 4 different videos if you're a water, earth, fire, or air sign, and it says right on the thumbnail what those signs are, so you don't have to guess. So,
Yeah.
so that's what I've been working on. And let's see, we have Caffeinated and Unfiltered. I'm going to be on Deanne's channel again on Wednesday for the part 2 of Witches and Witch Trials. And of course, I have physical therapy on Tuesday and Thursdays, and I know everybody wants to keep track of that. That's why I let you know.
I have it in my
We're
calendar.
keeping tabs on your medical
you.
process.
Thank you. Thank you. I just want everyone to know that I had to swap out my mattress, and that was yesterday's big event. Is I had to go and buy a different mattress, but they replaced it. The service and delivery and everything, that was free, but I did have to pay more to get a different mattress. But it is banging. That's the word for the night. My new mattress is outstanding, nice and hard. And next Friday, we're doing a cool Crone Oracle, and you won't want to miss that. You won't want to miss any of the shows like for the next month because they all have brand new music on them. So,
Well,
please tune in.
make it worth their while, everybody. Make it worth Colleen's hard work and watch the videos.
Yes, please do, because we've had to change the music about 150 times.
Wow.
Thank you, YouTube. No, not that many times. All right, so we're gonna get going. Gerald, what do we have in the comments? Should I start with starred questions, or should I go to my questions? What should we do here?
We have one question starred, and so it's there. It's available. It just got posted. And if people do want to post a comment or a question, please put it all in caps so that I can see it.
Yeah.
So that's very helpful.
Yeah, let me go. See, I think we have a banner for that. Is this one good? That's an awful lot of
I
stuff.
can look for it if you want, and then
yeah, just put up whichever one is good to let them know to put it in the chat. Okay, so we have.
That's a great first question. Just
Yeah,
to
I think so too.
cover a lot of things.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so this is I hope this doesn't cover up anything for Val and Shari. It's really a big question. Oh, good. It just made us smaller. That's fine. I have a question from Lorraine. Or do you all think, as I do, that Michael Cohen and or Mr. Packer is sitting patiently on evidence, actual proof that the 2016 election was stolen? Well, we can read on it. Let's read on it. Let's just all do a little throw on that. Again, I need the Jeopardy music in here. I need some music. I'll find something.
You know, I don't know that they actually have the proof of the 2016 election was being stolen, but I think that they definitely have the proof that Trump illegally paid off. You know, he protected himself by paying off a porn star, by not getting that out into the media, and that definitely affected the election. So I don't know if you'd really. I don't know. The election was stolen. Seems kind of. Well, I mean, I totally agree. I mean, you know, he did do that, but as far as sitting on evidence, they had a lot of good evidence about what Trump really did do, how he did it. They've got it in writing. They've got it in records. They've got it in witnesses' statements. If he's not found guilty, there's something wrong with the justice system, because it's all out there. It's all what he did. And then, all the stuff that Stormy Daniels talked about and everything was not directly, it was not directly related to the illegalities, because it wasn't illegal to do that. What was illegal was to cover it up and not let the public know what had happened before they voted. So if that's what you mean by stolen, they're not sitting on the evidence. It's out there. They have told it in court.
I agree with Cleo. And one other thing, Pecker may have done things, as he told the prosecutors, that he made up stories to dissuade people from voting for this person or that person. He actually created false stories. That is huge in terms of affecting the election. This was on Trump's behalf at his request. That they didn't give them specifics is neither here nor there, because they could have. So I don't think he actually has evidence other than that, because his transactions with Trump were about making up stories to make his competitors look bad, and also, suppressing bad news about him. Those are the two things. That's his level of knowledge. And Trump was really good about not talking directly with anyone, so that no, except Georgia, on the phone, give me the phone. But that's a no.
Okay. Who else?
I go. Seven of Cups. We got a lot of illusion going on here. A lot of make-believe, fantasy, followed up with strength. So they think that's their strong point, is to keep pushing the illusion, what's not actually happening. Because there is a lot of money involved. That's what I've got.
Okay.
Well, one of the things that I have, I can just say that all of this is so dark. It's hidden by lots of secrets. Every single card that I have is reversed. So, and it's just like, so the Chariot reversed, it's dark. I have the Queen of Pentacles reversed. People getting ticked off. I have the Six of Cups reversed. So there's,
Wow.
I have the Page of Cups reversed. Whatever it is, I don't even know if we're going to ever find out what happened with that election. I think it's just drilled down so much. So.
Okay. So I don't think that Pecker and Pecker may have some interesting stories about things, stories that he told or even put in his paper that, I agree with Val, that would be a big influence on a lot of people, because that rag of his was read by so many people. But I don't really think that the pair of them is sitting on any big gangbuster evidence. I think the evidence has already been given out in the Mueller report. So I don't think there's any question that the election was stolen according to the Mueller report. Because the case that they're in right now is about election fraud, which could lead to the election being stolen, but it's more about the fraud about the money and where the money came from, where did the money go, how did they record the money. And so there's fraud from Trump in general, and there's election fraud, and there's the fraud with the money, and it's distasteful, or it's meant to seem distasteful because of Stephanie, whatever her name is, Stormy Daniels, whatever her real name is, because of her profession. I don't think there's anything wrong with her profession, but they sure did go after it in a salacious way. But I think the Mueller report exposes all of that stuff. So I don't think there's any question that it was stolen. But it was mainly manipulated by Russia with social media. Probably China was in there too. And they started that campaign a full 18 to 24 months before the election went on. And they totally manipulated the American public. It did not help with all the stuff that David Pecker was putting in his rag. But I don't think Michael Cohen knows anything more than that. What were you going to say, Cleo?
I forgot.
Okay. And I think David Pecker and Michael Cohen are just kind of sitting on tenterhooks, hoping that there will be no reason to send them to prison. Michael's already been there, but David Pecker has not. But their involvement is they were dancing very close to the sun. So, I mean, they could have done things that would bring them up on charges. I don't know.
That's what I was going to say, is that this trial is going to, there'll be other trials connected to this one after this.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I got. And this, but my concern right now is to find Donald Trump guilty and to do something about that guilt. And that, if that is, it's going to be a springboard for several other new trials. And but as far as what Pecker wrote in his Inquirer magazine or newspaper, is it's totally legal for him to do that. Everything he said on there, that he wasn't worried about getting in trouble for it, because he can do that. He can put out any lie he wants to. He's not, and we've always known that the Inquirer is a rag, is just absolute nonsense. So I'm kind of surprised that they've tried to legitimize it at all, because it's never been a legitimate news source. But anyway, yes, there's going to be other poop. There's going to be other things that come up because of this trial.
Yeah, I think all of Trump's trials are going to be like that too, don't you? I mean, I'm sure that Jack Smith has like about 250 more indictments in his pocket that he's just waiting to hand out. But I think they have to get, they have to cut off the head of the fish, or the head of the snake. They have to get Trump on something so that they've got him, that, because all this nonsense that he's pulling in the news and all the worry and anxiety that he's oh, you know what I wanted to read on too is Romney's statements.
That was pretty potent.
Yeah, I got a lot to say about that. Okay, so I think we beat that horse. Let's go on to oh my God, up to 17 now. Good Lord. Okay. Now I don't understand this one from I don't understand this one, Gerald, from Dorian. I don't get that. So I'm going to skip that one.
Okay. I will. Yeah.
Here's an interesting one. Will the various mental health professionals be able to get the media to cover Trump's dementia before the election? Oh, well, let's read on that.
Sure are trying.
Well, they're going to have to be really careful. The mental health professionals, and you can't just broadcast that kind of information. I mean, it's health information. It's covered by
HIPAA.
HIPAA, yes. And I don't see those but there's been so many people coming out and just saying, this is what I think is going on. And it's been that they have been talking about his mental health going back to 2016, because he's always said goofy, strange things. But, now he's having trouble with his speech. He's having trouble completing a sentence. He's having trouble making sense. He's having trouble bringing up issues that have to do with what's important. I mean, Hector, what's his name? Hector, the fake serial killer guy.
Hannibal Lecter.
Hannibal Lecter. He is, why he's bringing that up. Yeah, I'm sure there's a whole bunch of doctors looking around going, let's see now, how does this fit into his diagnosis? And he's talking about mythical people, and it's also talking about Al Capone. And it's just as though these people are somebody to be revered and looked at, and like, let's pay attention to this. And that's what I loved when he had that rally in New Jersey, where all the people looked around. They listened to it for a while, but then little by little, they just started just leaving in hordes. Just, yeah, this is irrelevant. So even his followers are looking around like, nah, something goofy here.
It's
And you know,
smells bad here. Something smells bad here. Go ahead, Val.
It really does smell bad. So this is what I'm getting, is that healthcare professionals are not going to really be able to touch this with a 10-foot pole, although you might hear whispers in the community about it, because it's one of those things that's hard to, you can't really administer a diagnosis you can, and you can be accurate, but they don't like you to do that.
Right.
So here's what I see coming. Here's Russia and Trump. There's a lot of tears. There's a whole bunch of things that are going to happen. I'm not going to show you that. This is Trump. And this card really indicates that this is him in his dementia or demented state. He's on a new journey. And there's your defeat, card of defeat. It is just not going to happen for him in any way, shape, or form. I don't really think he can participate in the election process in a normal way. And I really don't see him being able to debate Biden in any intelligent way.
Well, I'm glad you brought up the debate between Biden and Trump, because Biden is trying to set the groundwork so that Trump can't continually talk over him.
Yeah.
They're going to turn the mics off.
Yeah.
And, as much as Trump came on all gangbusters, like, oh, yeah, this is what I want to do, I see him trying to tiptoe away from it. And as far as the election and him being involved in it, I've always thought that he wasn't going to be, but then I do see him getting the nomination from the GOP. So, there's so many things going on here, and he is acting more and more strange. So we'll just have to see where this goes. But yeah, this thing about the debate, I thought, well, that's interesting that suddenly he's like, oh yeah, finally Biden, he wants to do that. I want to do that too. He'll find some reason. And now he's actually trying to screw up the schedule. I don't know if anybody saw that, but he's trying to add kind of like, well, I can't, maybe he's not saying he can't do it yet, but he wants to add more times when they do a debate. And I don't know. I would love to see this debate and see how it goes. If they are able to rein him in a little bit and give Biden a chance to talk.
I think it'd be really fun too. Oh, go ahead, Shari. Shari.
I was going to say, I just read something yesterday where Trump agreed to the 2 debates with Biden, but Biden's team had put out that under the stipulation that when one person is asked a question, the other person's mic is cut off.
Right.
And they have to stay at their podium. They can't wander around and distract and whatnot. They have to stay there. They can't talk, turn off their mics. And there was like 3 or 4 other things. And Trump agreed with all of it right away. And then his people got a hold of it and started throwing out all kinds of, oh, no, we can't do that. And it's like, well, he already agreed. So maybe you'd ought to talk to your person. But I'm looking at all of these health professionals, all the little elves, been working very, very, very hard to try to get the information out there. At least the basic understanding of what kind of disease we're dealing with dementia. Because a lot of people really don't understand it. They don't understand the way it affects you, not just your remembering things, but motor skills, functioning skills. And something as simple as blowing your nose, you can completely lose that ability and don't remember how to do it. That happened to my mom. I mean, we went from a Monday to a Tuesday to have to go buy the squeegee things you use on babies to blow her nose because she couldn't blow her nose. She could not make air come out of her nose to blow it. But it's also, they're trying to point out that it says sunken ship, but I look at it as a shipwreck because that's what he is. He is just a shipwreck through and through and through. And of course, his followers are going to throw everything into the pot they can to try to stir it all up and try to make that green stinky goo more palatable to everyone to take a drink. And I ended with the moon. Everything is still kind of shadowy, still kind of, not quite all the way out there because mental health professionals are hamstrung with what they can and can't say publicly. I mean, most of them are having to take the route of, in my opinion, from what I've seen in past patients, that kind of thing, to kind of get around it. But they got to be real careful if they're talking directly about him, so.
And they face blowback from professionals, right?
Exactly, yeah.
And about the debate, I mean, Joe Elijah wrote no audience. I forgot about that. Yeah, there's not going to be
That's
an
right.
audience.
There won't be an audience there.
He wants his people. He wants his
No,
followers.
but he agreed to it. He agreed
Yeah.
to Biden rule.
He publicly agreed to all the stipulations that Biden's team put out. Like, yeah, I'll do it. And now they're wanting to add more stuff that's ridiculous with all they're asking for. And Biden's like, nope, I told you I'd do 2 debates. You agreed. That's it. It's set.
Yeah, he's drawn a line in the sand.
So now it'll see if he shows up or not.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you Biden will be there and he'll be glad to answer all those questions that people have,
Yeah.
It could be a real shining moment for him.
So Val, did you go?
I did. I thought it would be hard for professionals to.
Okay, right. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, so if there, I mean, there's a sense of they can talk about dementia, but they can't talk specifically about Trump and what is going on with him. And there's a real delicate balance, of course. I mean, I think we can all agree with that. And I'm not a lawyer, nor do I play one on TV or YouTube or anything like that. So, but there is someone fit to stand trial? And I don't know what that's involved there. So it feels very carefully balanced is how I'm feeling it, is because there's this desire of wanting to do the best thing without influencing. They're trying to report. So there you go.
Well, and if he's too imbalanced to go to court, wouldn't he be too imbalanced to run the country?
Well,
just saying.
One would think. Here's what I got is that this opens the door. This whole topic opens the door about whether he is compos mentis or not. Is he capable of running, of doing a debate, of taking the oath, of becoming president and being a president, which, in my opinion, he has not been for the last 20 years. But he thinks he is. The problem is, and I also got the moon in the middle of the cards that I pulled. So, but this conversation about his mental state, it's a new conversation now. He's always been, batshit, but now he's talking real dangerous stuff, and he's showing much more authoritarian tendencies. And who is going to say we need to do a real mental test on you? Who is going to say that? Who is going to demand it? And I don't think there is anybody that he would, agree with, that he would say, oh, yeah, I have to go do that, or that his camp would agree with. I think everybody around him is wearing diapers and long red ties and saying, oh, I'm with him and I agree with him. So
Well, a judge could order that.
And Trump would, have the judge, who knows what he would do to the judge.
Well, it doesn't matter. The judge, if he feels that Trump has stepped over a certain line and is not clear about his mental condition.
Oh, really? Oh, really? Have you seen Judge Engoron? Trump stepped over the line many times with him, and all he did was fine him. And Judge Marchand, he hasn't locked him up. All he's done is warn him and shook his finger at him. Really?
Well,
you think the judge is going to do this? I don't think so. I don't think so.
I have to say, the position it would put the judge in would be very dicey, because what if he was wrong and didn't get that would be very tough to combat from if Trump was able to go through an exam and come out okay. On the other side, maybe he wasn't in his demented stage at the time. True. And he was lucid, and then you're screwed. And so, yeah,
the problem with cuckoo people is that, if they're cuckoo and they really lose it, and they're all of a sudden talking about something that's obviously crazy, like they're talking about the administration of Roosevelt, 100 years ago, right. Or they're, Trump's getting close to that.
Obama, I'm running against Obama. Am I in that category?
The big problem with Trump is that in his crazy delusion, he goes further towards an authoritarian fascist dictator. He doesn't go towards a babbling idiot who wants to, eat his food off the floor.
Yeah.
So you have a very dangerous person in that. If he just broke down and was a blithering idiot completely, yeah, then somebody like a judge could step in and say, okay, we need to have him evaluated. But when he's in his throes of craziness, is saying things like, well, I'm going to lock him up, or I'm going to have the attorney general, rip up the Constitution, or, when he's saying these really dangerous things, who's going to stop and say, we have to evaluate him? Steve Bannon would just take a machete and take the guy's head off. It would be horrible.
He has more indictments than Al Capone. What kind of a strange, off-the-wall, crazy thing is that to say?
There is nothing like this. This is like a first in the history of the United States. That's such a loony and crazy, odd situation we could find ourselves in as a nation. We can't even wrap our minds around it.
No, it has happened in other countries.
Yeah, but not and the thing of it is that when it comes with something like dementia and or Alzheimer's, once people start getting to a certain stage, like Trump got to about 5 years ago, there's no way you can fake that in an exam with professionals who know what they're looking for.
Yeah.
Simply because there are too many tells that you're trying to put them on. My mother was able to pull the wool over her doctor's eyes for years before finally one day she comes in the office and she's starting out like she's doing good, and then just snap, and the doctor just looked at me and said, how long has this been going on? And I said, for years. That's what I've been telling you.
You guys remember Imelda Marcos?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And she was married to Ferdinand Marcos.
Right, in the Philippines.
They were both raving narcissists. and they ruled over the Philippines for like 20 years or more.
Yeah.
I
So-
have never forgot her collection of shoes, Colleen.
Right?
Yeah.
So when this starts to happen in a country, it doesn't just go away because someone says nicely, "Oh, will you go take a mental acuity test?" No, they get their head cut off if they do that. What happens is the effing dictator takes over for like the rest of their life. So that's why Trump is so dangerous and crazy. Sorry, entertainment purposes only, YouTube.
Well, and that's why it should have already have been done from the moment that he got into office the first time.
Hey, that cow left the barn a
That
long
needs to
time ago.
be a standard of, if you even are going to run, you have to go through a major psychological testing to make sure that you are mentally fit for the job. I mean,
Yeah, and I'm sure that the majority of the American people agree with you, and all of those things will be put in place in 2030. But it's
Right.
2024.
right, we're not there yet.
And we're not there yet. So I don't think he's going to debate anybody. And I think this leads nicely into the issue of what Senator Romney said just the other day in an interview. So Romney was being interviewed by somebody who I guess they were wanting to know about his, leaving the Senate and all that stuff. And at one point he said, well, Biden just handled Trump all wrong. He should have just pardoned him for everything outright.
Yeah, I couldn't believe
What?
it. Yeah.
What? Are you kidding me?
I'm glad I
Pardon?
didn't see that interview because I'm sorry, but that would have been
That's a different interview than the one I saw.
that would just
Well, that's a different Mitt Romney than I've ever seen.
yeah.
Right?
Because the Mitt Romney that left was disgusted by the GOP and
Yeah.
couldn't stand another minute working with
That-
people like
So
that.
why
That was the interview
why
I
do we
saw.
think he said that?
I don't know.
I do.
Well,
I do.
Why?
Because he has had his life and his family's lives threatened.
Oh, I just got the chills.
Yeah.
He has been paying something like $5,000 or $10,000 per day every day that he's in the Senate for security, for protection.
Oh my God.
One of the reasons he's leaving, and he said in his speech or an interview or something, he said, I'm lucky. I have the means to buy security for myself. A lot of the other people, both in the Senate and Congress, they don't have that kind of resources. They don't have the ability to do that. But this is dangerous. And so when he came out with that, I was like, yep, he caved because he was afraid for his family's life.
That had to be it because that's a 180, and he's
Well,
not.
why do you think all of those
He doesn't
all of
change
those
his
senators
policy.
and representatives have shown up in court dressed in their little identical blue suits and red ties? Because
How stupid.
there's something.
It's more that I think that's compromise. I think that's coming from a foreign country. Honestly, I think the risk to their life. Trump doesn't have to do that to them because there's already the compromise on them. So until they get unafraid of the compromise, he doesn't have to threaten them. But the ones that do try to get out, that's what Romney said. The ones that try to get out from under his thumb, they either have to leave Congress or even if they do leave, they are threatened with bodily harm and their families.
And it's true because he's even threatening the jurors who are sitting there in his trial in a pretty blatant way by don't make him sound. They had to shut him down.
I feel that Trump is so good at doing this now. It's like, threat in a box. Like he just has a little kit that he says, okay, juror number 18, give them the A1 treatment, and then they start with a phone call or a weird Facebook account or you know what I mean? Like I think
the things that make you terrorized, they get you at home where you think you're safe. And all of a sudden you've been you're
and not just you. They go after your family. Just like the mob. That's what the mob does.
Well, yeah, because if somebody was threatening my children, my spouse, my pets, whatever, I mean, I would have to do some serious thinking about what my next move is, especially if I couldn't afford 24/7 security to protect not just myself, but my family. You
Yeah,
know?
you can only move so many times. You know, you can only change your address and your phone number so many times. And then you're just kind of like, what do I do? I guess I have to go along with it. I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's what he counts on. It's really what he counts on. Okay, so there wasn't much of a question there. All right, so shall we talk about the I love this. Shall we talk about the penis balloons?
Yes, why don't we?
Yes, let's lighten the mood.
Did you guys see it?
I didn't
I
see it.
didn't see it.
I'll see if I can find a picture while you guys all
It was Midas Touch did a thing on it earlier.
did they show it?
Yeah, they showed the actual clips
I
of
didn't
the
see it.
balloons getting
I
released
think that must have been where I saw it.
and
too.
people hollering, "You're a penis head and a penis breath and all kinds of stuff."
A pro-Trump artist. What's this by the New York Times? A pro-Trump artist releases 100 penis-shaped balloons with faces of Alvin Bragg, Judge Marchand. I saw one that had Jack Smith on it. So let's
It's
see.
like, what are you, 8?
Oh, this is great. I'm going to
You
share
know?
this. I'm going to share my screen. This is great. This is hilarious. Hope I don't get in trouble for showing this.
No, hell, Colleen, you'll just go to YouTube jail like me.
Okay. Let me get rid of this. Isn't that funny? Oh, shoot. I didn't want to do that. Let me go back. Where's my balloons? Where are my balloons?
Go down.
Decker didn't have one for
Go down.
penis balloon.
No, they went away.
Okay. I'll just pull it up again.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Who presented these penis balloons?
It was a pro-Trump artist. Trump supporter trolls trial with penis balloons featuring. I'll take a different.
And again, I say, why wasn't Pecker on one of those balloons?
There we go. That's the shape of the balloon, and that little face is somebody. And let's see if they have another picture. Okay, that's the Daily Beast. Let's see what the if I can get back to the post, because that was really a good one.
Well, look, Amazon sells black and gold penis balloons in quantities of 10.
Good old what is it here? There we go.
Oh God.
Now the one I saw had, like I said, Jack Smith, but there were other people too. Judge Marchand was on there. Just crazy.
What were they supposed to be?
They were supposed to be let's see, pro-Trump artist. See if we can look at the article. Controversial artist and activist. Libido. Scott Libido released 100 pink penis-shaped balloons featuring the faces of Donald Trump foes, like Alvin Bragg. Thursday outside the courthouse where there's Marchand.
Wow.
Can I just say it's more like an indication of how uncouth the other side is?
Well, this is like the mental acuity of a 9-year-old.
Exactly.
You know,
I mean,
the title of his art installation was "The Dicks of Hazard."
Well, I can't believe his name is Libido. I mean,
Yeah, right. No, right.
Exactly.
A little on the nose, right?
Yeah.
A little, I can just imagine we're just getting to the tip of this, aren't we?
Yeah.
And I think Mr. Libido is hoping that we do.
Wow. And Linda H said he still didn't get the crowd of supporters. He wanted just these stupid balloons. It's like, well, yeah.
Yeah, crazy. So, what do we think the senators and Congress people who went to the trial? What do we think that they will have accomplished?
are you talking about the boys in blue with the little red ties?
Yes,
Those
and
long red ties.
Lauren Boebert. Don't forget Lauren Boebert.
Yes, because he wasn't sleeping in court. He's praying.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
You know, she's so desperate to be relevant. You know, she's just putting her little face up there for any old reason.
I really don't see any outcome from this other than it's reflecting very poorly on them as adult human beings who had a job to do, and they left their job to go do something for a felon. Really.
Well, they haven't done their job for almost 18 months.
Yes.
This Congress and Senate, they've done almost nothing.
And
so why should today or yesterday be any different?
they're going to have to.
It's just another embarrassment for the Republicans. It's just another.
It really is. They're going to have to send in a repairman. Everybody's looking at themselves in the mirror, and they're feeling ashamed, and they're getting a little ghosted by people who go, oh, because I mean they are being made fun of a lot. There's a lot of memes out there. I mean, they're just fodder for they're grist for the mill. I'm sorry, but the little outfits with the red tie just.
What was that about? That was God, like
a uniform.
Okay.
It's a uniform.
They're little Trumpsters.
Exactly.
They had the little red tie because Trump generally wears a lot of time a little red tie. So they're little Trumpsters, little Trumpster wannabes.
So that was one of the headlines that I pulled out. To be Trump's running mate, defend him, but don't steal the show.
Yes.
Let's see. He said he is leaning toward more experienced options who can help the ticket without seizing his precious spotlight. The cavalry of Republican vice presidential contenders and other party officials inside the courthouse for Donald Trump's criminal trial was so large one day this week that the group initially had trouble arranging themselves in the 2 rows set aside for guests of the defense team. Wedged into their seats, they were immediately confronted with testimony accusing their party's leader, who was trying to inoculate his 2016 presidential campaign from political damage, of writing checks for bogus legal. Okay, that's just about the case. Blah, blah, blah. None of the conservatives in the courtroom flinched or raised an eyebrow, including Governor Doug Burgum of North Dakota and Representative Byron Donalds of Florida, both of whom are said to be under consideration for Mr. Trump's running mate. So, nothing, right? It's a nothing burger.
What do you got? The whole universe looking at them.
Yeah,
because you know they're acting like little fairies in the meadow, and they think this is going to make them look so wonderful to Trump, and what they don't realize is that they're just dumping fuel on the fire. And it's going to just burn that much hotter and that much brighter against them. So
don't give fairies a bad name by comparing them to this.
Yeah, right.
No. I wasn't comparing them. I was saying they were wanting to be thought of as little fairies dancing in the meadows.
Doesn't this
you're nowhere near that?
Do you remember when they had the whole thing where all of the people had to go into a skiff to read stuff? I think it was maybe something about the Mueller report. I don't remember. And effing Matt Gaetz bought pizza. He ordered like pizza for everybody to come into the skiff. Do you guys remember that?
I think that was about the UFO thing.
All I know is they broke in there and they
had that congressional hearing about
something. It was
UAPs. And
this is about on par with that.
And then they had to have skiffs for all of that.
I mean,
confidential.
I remember Nancy Pelosi stood and finally got somebody to point the camera in her direction to say, now we have to go in there and completely clean that clean room because there's no telling what was put in there when all these different people showed up.
Yeah. So all right, so let's talk about.
Can I just say this, Colleen, before you go on? Yeah. I just want to say, in my view, just bear with me, profiling Trump as far as what he'd pick for a running mate, he's not going to pick a woman, I don't care, and he definitely isn't going to pick Haley. She's too high profile, too well liked. He's not going to let somebody shine. He won't even pick one of the little red tie boys because they're wannabes. He's going to pick somebody totally unknown. You won't even think who the heck are they? They can barely spell cat, and he'll pick them. Mark my words. If he's cognitive still,
because Haley is too Hollywood ready.
Oh, he's not any. He can't.
Haley outperformed him.
It already crosses her out.
So she's a goner.
Persona non grata.
Yeah.
Somebody in the GOP probably wants her in there and has been, trying to put them together, but he's never going to go for that. They're
going to find like some mayor from Idaho or something.
Exactly.
He's not even in the running at all.
Have no clue about what they're doing. Perfect for the job.
Somebody who will be a little starstruck and just do whatever he wants. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what it'll do. So, Justice Alito was found to have been flying the American flag upside down just after the January 6th attack and just before the inauguration. He blames his wife, like all good conservatives do. Same thing that not Clarence Thomas, who was it? Bob Menendez of my state is blaming his wife for the gold bars in their closets. So I guess this is a tried and true formula for getting out of jail. Maybe that worked when you were in elementary school, but I don't think.
Well, and it's one more instance of egotistical men trying to, of course, make the woman the boogeyman.
And just trying to avoid responsibility for their actions. Yeah. To avoid the consequences.
He would be in such big trouble. He cannot say that he's for Trump or Biden. He can't bring that into the court. He cannot be. Politics is not supposed to be in the court. Right. And so when that happened, and he came up with the most lame excuse I've ever heard. And I thought, didn't you know that somebody was going to take a picture of that? Didn't you know that somebody knew that you would just be totally screwed? And he said that a wife did it because she was having an argument of some kind with a neighbor. I said, oh, please, that is the most lame excuse I've ever heard. No, he put it up there because that's what they were doing on January 6th. All those people were carrying the flag upside down. He was supporting the insurrection.
He drank the Trump sauce, and that was his contribution to the whole thing. Absolutely.
Well, and in the military, when you fly your flag upside down, it usually that's a call for assistance, call for help.
They said that is one of their signals that you're part of the whole group.
Yeah.
Let's read on it. Let's see, what is this going to develop into something a little bit more? Is there going to be a little bit more mud that sticks to Alito? Because, we're still 6 months out from the election, but once the election takes place, I think things might change. So.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Him
and Clarence Thomas and all these other people in the Supreme Court. Yes, I am saying in 2025, everybody's going to be taking a good look at the Supreme Court. Things are going to change. I just this thing about being put in there for life is going to be challenged. I don't know that they'll actually fix it, but it's going to be challenged. And what these judges are doing is it's making a mockery out of the Supreme Court. Now that is just so dangerous to be doing that. And for him to make that stupid excuse about his wife, it's just ridiculous. The timing on this shows that, I still see those insurrectionists carrying the flag upside down. It's his support for the insurrection. It's his support saying that the 2020 election was stolen. He is so out of line here. He's in big trouble. But, I think right now they're going to kind of like shut up about it a little bit. And then when we have a better opportunity to deal with this next year, it'll be story.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
And what I see is they're going to go in and investigate the whole entire Supreme Court justices and what's been going on in a way in which they can get a handle on what's going, the whole Clarence Thomas thing with the motorhome, all the donate. Here's what's going to happen. This is how Alito's going to be feeling. Here's the money that he received throughout some of the time. And here's the devil. And he really is going to, fire is going to be under his feet. He is probably going to end up leaving. And this is maybe 2 years down the road. I don't know how long this investigation will take. Once we get into the second Biden administration, I expect some of this will happen maybe in the second or third year. It may take 3 years to put more Supreme Court justices on. And then they'll take the opportunity to go in and clean up or take a look at what has been going on. Something has to be looked at. I don't care what anybody says. It has to be looked at.
Mm-hmm.
You can't let these things go without putting light on it. And that's when I think they should make new laws about the SCOTUS and have limits. No lifetime.
We're gonna be making new laws about all of this stuff
All
for the
of
next
this
20
stuff.
years. The whole time Pluto is in Aquarius, which is 20 years, they're going to be revamping everything.
Oh, and I hope they do it with a fine-tooth comb.
They will. Who's next? Who's next?
I can go. I started out with a 7 of Cups. So, I mean, we're looking again, illusion, make believe, just pretending that everything's going to go according to plan. Then I pulled the King of Swords. So they think that their guy is in charge. He's going to be the king. He's got the sword. He's going to take care of it. All he's going to be doing is trying to find a way to get the hell out of Dodge.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if he doesn't win,
or going to jail. He could be going to jail
because he's going to be exposed for the naked man that he is.
Mm-hmm.
And he thinks that they can slap a Band-Aid on it and keep right on going. It won't be a problem. But no, it's a real mess. And it's just going to be a whirlwind, a tornado ripping through. There's so much stuff that needs to be cleaned out in our politics to get us back on the right track. I mean, we withstood what happened last time. Until everything gets shored up and taken care of, I don't know if we'll survive another attempt like that. But I do know, and I heard somebody saying this earlier, that there's already plans in place that if anybody shows up in DC anywhere near or around January 6th, or when any of the new elected people are going to get sworn in or validated or whatever, that they're going to be met by a wall of police and maybe even the National Guard. There's not a chance in hell they can pull another attempt. So that's what I heard them talking about this morning. So.
Okay, good. Gerald, what do you have?
Well, yeah. Well, no, because this is very interesting. We sort of went in a couple of different directions, but here's the thing: I have 8 cards down, and I have 2, 4. I have 5 majors. So I have the Fool, I have Death, I have the Hierophant, I have Judgment matched with the Ace of Swords. So they're going to be taking new action, and it goes back to that idea of putting things about with repairing everything that has been going wrong. Because I have the Hierophant and the 10 of Pentacles. This is an ongoing thing that needs to be improved. We're going to be peeling back. I have Death with the Ace of Cups. all of these changes are going to upset people. I have the Wheel of Fortune with the Fool. I mean, this is, for those of us who read tarot, this is one of those things that there's a lot going to be happening. It's going to be big, and it's going to be a slow moving machine.
Yeah.
But once it gets started, it's going to keep moving. So the problem is it's got to make sure that it stays moving and it gets started, because once it works, then the change can happen.
Mm-hmm.
And and I will say, yeah, for entertainment purposes only, go out and freaking vote, people. That's where, I mean, pay attention. Okay. I'm off of my soapbox. Thank you.
Okay. So, I just had to do my pendulum really quick to clarify something. So I have a feeling that there will be some change on the Supreme Court after the election. Somebody's going to have to leave, maybe a health issue. It's not going to be like, Biden throws them off or something, but it'll give Biden an opportunity to put somebody new on, and that'll shake up the balance enough that it goes a little bit back towards being a kind of a good Supreme Court, but not all the way, but it'll just, they won't quite have the clutch that they have right now on the conservatism. And I agree with Val. I don't think these big changes that we're looking for will even happen in 2025, because I think there's so much fish to fry. They got so many battles to pitch. They got to pick and choose. There's just only so much delegation you can do, and Biden knows this. And I also feel that the fight that Biden has been in trying to, just get the polls to reflect accurately where he's at against Trump and et cetera, things like that. And all the bad press and the media being so, really mean to him, and not reflecting his accomplishments. I really feel like this has kind of fired up Biden. It has given him another couple of years as president. And I think that he's going to stay in as president a little bit longer than he would have before if it had been a little bit smoother, a little bit more normal of a pace. But anyway, back to this question about SCOTUS. When they start doing investigations, and again, the investigations might just start in 25, but we won't really hear about results probably till later. But look what I got. I got the Ace of Cups, then the 5 of Cups, then the 10 of Cups. So what I think this means is that they're going to start out with a question or a premise that they want to prove or disprove. As soon as they go in there and start actually being able to talk to people, it's like the house of cards starts to crumble, and they go, uh-oh, this is even worse than we thought. And it's more critical and urgent than we thought. By the time they get done, they realize they really got a clean house. It's horrible. So, but it'll take a while for that to, and because they're going to expose it in that way, there won't be any denying it. There won't be like, Clarence Thomas by that time will have, gotten sick, or, his wife will have pulled him off the bench because she needs to move to Bahrain or something like that. I mean, they'll just, things will have happened and they won't be as strong as they appear right now. But the Biden administration has a lot of strength. The DOJ is going to have a lot of strength. Somehow they are going to be able to prosecute this or to investigate this and treat it almost like a legal investigation, like a legal case. And in the end, I got the 5 of Pentacles. They're going to be kind of crying in their beer going, well, why are you picking on us? And it's like, well, because for 30 years you've picked on us and you've just made us like your little hobby horse, and you're just making these rules now pretty arbitrarily and messing with our lives. No, we don't want that anymore. The card on the bottom of my deck, I don't usually do this, but it just caught my eye, is the High Priestess. So we will get things rectified, but it may take some time because there's a lot of secrets to uncover.
Is that Mrs. Butterworth?
Yes, it is.
Priestess?
Yes, she
Yeah,
is the
I
High
love that.
Priestess. Yeah, she is the High Priestess.
Now, don't you just want some pancakes?
I do. I'm sitting there looking at that thinking, oh, I got a box of pancake mix in the pantry. I haven't
Waffles.
opened yet.
Now, before we're getting close to the end of this, I think.
Yeah.
I just wanted to mention, and we should have mentioned this before, that on Biden's watch, the stock market just went up higher than it's ever gone. He just broke the ceiling.
40,000 points. Yeah.
And that's just another thing that will make people want to vote for Biden. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, all about him. He caused this to happen. So I love that thing about the stock
But
market.
this is why and you know, I totally agree with you, Cleo, but I can't understand why Trump will now use this as a talking point, and they'll say, and he's ruined our economy. Our economy is ruined.
And he's the worst president we've ever
Worst president. He has done nothing. I mean, he only has one speech, and he can't read the teleprompter. So
because he got away with this kind of crap in 2016. He lied and lied and lied, and people were like, they totally believed him.
But he's
you know, there's still some that do believe him, but when these things come out like this, when that stock market thing is huge, it is huge. And you can't deny that. And that had nothing to do with anything Trump ever did. It was what Biden did. And
he's going to be on Truth Social tweeting tonight at 3:00 in the morning. Biden is he's a loser.
And he's talking about his kid's graduation, but no, you're right. That's what he'll be doing.
And I believe he did not make it to Barron's graduation, did he?
Mm-mm. I don't
He
think he went.
didn't even make it after all this BS.
No, I think he planned a rally.
He was never going. He was going to a
Yeah,
rally.
but
Well, and Colleen, as you were pointing out earlier, with all the things that they're going to have to deal with in 25.
Oh, no, he did attend. Wait,
it's going to be a lot. But Obama ran into that, and that's one of the missteps he made. And I'm hoping that Biden remembers that and learns from it. Is that when Obama got into office the first time, they were just overwhelmed with all of the stuff that was bad. That was just, and didn't.
He did attend.
He did.
Yeah,
He did attend.
Okay. Yeah,
Thank you, Matt
put
O'Brien.
it up on the screen here. So
Yeah, he really did. It's a little shocking.
And Barron looks so happy about it.
Yeah, I'm sure that they didn't want him there because he caused too much attention in a bad way.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
yeah.
he drew Barron's. It was Barron's day, not his day.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the first of his children that he has ever attended for their graduation.
Yeah, because he had to, because he made a big fuss over it.
I wonder what changed his mind, because he did plan. I heard it all over the news. He did plan a rally.
He was going later that night to a rally he planned at night. So he is going to win right after that.
Oh,
Yeah.
But don't think that his wife didn't look at him and go, "Oh, hell no."
Hell no, she did not want him there. Let me just tell you right
now. God.
She did not want Barron to be embarrassed and to have this kind of attention. No.
And I don't think Barron wanted him there either.
Look at Barron's face.
Yeah.
Well, he's always looked like that, though. He always looks like that.
Well,
I have just always felt, leave the kid out of it. Jesus, I mean.
I agree, but
Can you? I hope you guys can see this. This is a great. No, it's too dark. I just got a snapshot of Barron in his face. He just looks like he's going to prison. He just doesn't look happy. Poor Barron. I'm so sorry, kid. I'm so sorry. Oh well.
Yeah, you can't always pick your family.
Well, not once you get down here. You've made the choice. So do we want to talk just a little bit about Michael Cohen and then wrap it up?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So what would you guys like to talk about about Michael Cohen?
He's done a wonderful, wonderful job. I want to thank him for coming up and telling the truth and bringing up all the facts and reinforcing all the records that prove what he is saying, and keeping his cool. He kept his cool throughout. So, yeah, his testimony makes a big, big difference, and it seals it. It totally seals it. There's no jury that's going to look around going, I don't think he's guilty. I mean, you can't say that.
Well, when the prosecution gets ready to do their closing arguments, when they cross-examine or do that final examination, whatever they call that, they get to close up all the gaps about anything that the defense came up with that made Cohen look a little bit like, oh, can we trust him? It doesn't matter. They already presented all the concrete documentation, recordings, and evidence that are already, they didn't even need Cohen's testimony. Cohen just further collaborated, or what's the word for it? He absolutely 100% agreed in every way, shape, or form with all the documentation already given. And so now they're just going to be left with going, he did all this, you have all this that Trump did. He's going to go through the whole thing, and he's going to go through it with Cohen and make sure that all the holes are sealed up so that when the jury goes back and they deliberate, all they remember is what they need to remember, not any of the other stuff. And this is why the prosecution goes last.
So I'm interested in the fact that Cohen said that he hated Trump and that Trump had threatened his family and basically almost ruined his life and everything. And he comes right out, yeah, I hate the guy. But
yeah, what's that got to do with the factual? Here's the paperwork. Here's the documents. Here's the check receipt.
That's how stupid his attorneys are.
The David Pecker testimony alone buried his ass.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
But anybody that had to go to jail for someone else, that had to lie for someone else, and that caused them to go to jail because the tax thing wasn't what, I mean, yes, they used the tax charges to put him in jail. But most people have done worse things on their taxes and been caught, and they didn't go to jail.
Well, he should be proud because he just loves Al Capone. And
Yeah,
they
right.
so
Yeah, right.
You have to go to prison. It might as well be on the tax charges.
So what do we think is going to happen to Michael Cohen after the verdict?
I think that he will be a sought after. I actually think he will be a sought after commentator. He's already on Midas Touch as one of the
He's
people.
on all of the networks. He's on all of them.
He's going to be vindicated.
Well, he wants to get his law license back, and he also wants to run for Congress or the Senate.
I could
see
see
that happening. I
he
see
could
that.
definitely do that. Yeah, I agree, Cleo.
But
on
will
that.
he get his law license back?
Yeah,
know,
I think he might.
You think he might? Because Glenn
Wow.
Kirshner says that's a bridge too far. But you know what? Here, let me see what my cards say.
Never say never. Look at we nobody ever thought that he would flip on Trump.
I am totally with you. I am one of those people that I would say never say never.
I actually see a podcast with him and Stormy Daniel on it.
They would be excellent.
Wouldn't they be dynamite?
I would watch it.
She may not want to do it right now. She may still be angry at him, but when she looks at what he's done and with Midas Touch, she might change her mind. Also, Book Bewitched wants to have her on a show because she's also a tarot reader. I thought that the minute I found out she was a tarot reader, I was like, oh my God, I got to find out how to get in touch with her because we should have her on the show. I think PoliTarology is the show to have her on, don't you?
Yeah,
it's a good show to get the juice flowing.
And I have a pretty background, so I think she'd like it. I think she'd appreciate my production values.
We all appreciate
Projection is excellent.
Oh
God.
So what do you guys say about getting the license back, the law license for Michael Cohen?
I'm still pulling my cards here.
Was that what we're reading on? If he's going to get his license?
Well, no. What's his future hold? What's in store for him? I mean,
Gotcha.
one of the things might be a law license, but what do you got, Val?
Dragon and Resurrection.
See?
That's looking good.
Yeah, this guy has
Yes.
something in
Ooh, I
store.
just got the chills.
Oh, he's got good cards.
And I was actually, it's like there's a lot of opportunity for him to give his opinion, and I have 3 queens in my spread, so there's a sense of maturity: Queen of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, and Queen of Wands. So he's he's going to ride it as long as he can, but he's going to say yes as much as possible to opportunities as they show up.
As they
Well,
show up.
he needs to. The poor sot still has a GoFundMe paying for his legal fees.
Yeah.
He's not sitting pretty financially. He was ruined financially. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to get the law license back, but I do think he's going to do really well afterwards. He's what I get is that he's going to have a period where he's just doing what he's been doing, kind of like he's just kind of like in stasis, like things are the same. But then something's going to break free, and he's going to get more. I think maybe after the next Trump trial, or maybe closer to the election or something. Then I think that he's going to start to feel more confident in himself, because you could see in that case this everything has been leading up to this. Now, is he being called as a witness in other cases? I would think.
Well, that's probably true, because and don't forget, he wrote that book, and he might write another book, so he has been living off some of those proceeds from that book.
Books don't make you millions like they used to, though. Not that much.
Well, this is what I pull for Cohen. We started with the world.
Americans love a good redemption arc. He could get elected in a few years.
He could.
Followed by the Knight of Swords. So he's moving full speed ahead. Ending with the High Priestess. So he's got a lot of good juju, I guess you can say, coming up for him.
Yeah. People convicted of a felony charge can serve in Congress. Yeah.
4 million from books. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and most of that's probably gone to his legal fees or his his mortgage, or because he's still living in New York, so he's got a very high lifestyle. So in the middle of my cards, I got the Fool for him. So when he gets past all of this stuff that has him worried, like testifying some more, because I see more testifying for him.
Right.
I see him, and I see him at a certain point, and I think he's almost to that point now, saying, Jesus, guys, I got to make a living. I can't spend my whole life in the witness box.
Yeah.
I don't make any money doing that.
Yeah.
And they're going to be like, yeah, but you'll make money afterwards. Don't worry. But I see him with a lot of different irons in the fire, different ideas, and then he gets the world. So things really turn around for him really well.
Yeah, I got that.
That's what I had. The world.
The resurrection card. The world, the resurrection card, and the Fool. He's really setting in a good place, So
I think
I know. I didn't believe a word he said until I read his first book.
Yeah.
And you could feel
the sincerity,
the contrition in his soul from what he wrote about, because he did not paint himself off as this saintly.
No,
he was flat out. I was
a liar. I was, he drank the Trump sauce because he liked the idea of working for somebody like. He really told the dirt on himself, really. So you could trust what he said. I felt the same.
I kind of was getting upset, though. I think was it Katie Tour that was on think she was on not just MSNBC, but I want to say she was also on CNN. And she was speaking, really kind of derogatorily about him, that, she felt like, he didn't want to take responsibility for any his actions, that he was, blaming everybody else. And I'm thinking, but it was everybody else's fault. He was the scapegoat. Yes, he should be blaming other
From what I'm hearing, she keeps talking about how everybody's just picking on Trump and just this is,
Well,
it's like, really?
Here's the thing. Yeah. And Cohen has pissed a lot of people off along the way. Pardon for that word. But he has made a lot of enemies who are going to get on. Ari Melber is one who it wants to say, he said it was a bloodbath, yes, can you imagine when the defense was cross-examining Cohen? Oh, it was a bloodbath, and everybody's going, what? What bloodbath are they talking about? Yeah, because he has a feud with Cohen. That is the whole bloodbath thing. Anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think things are going to turn around for him. I really do.
I think the tide started turning for him when Trump did get into office, and then didn't seem to have the time of day for Cohen, who had been busting his ass for a decade or longer.
A decade.
His cleanup man, and then Trump was just like, yeah, you just stay over in New York and keep doing your cleanup act, and that's when he started, because his wife and his kids have been telling him for years, he's using you. You need to get away from him and be the person that you're meant to be. And, and getting sent to prison kind of topped it off. I mean,
Yeah. Gerald, did you have something else you wanted to say about Michael Cohen?
No, I already did. I think he's going to have that opportunity. He's gonna, if he makes it through, he's going to make it work, and there's going to be other opportunities, and he could actually start shedding some, hardcore truths that he could start to have the courage to say the things that need to be said.
Yeah, and once Trump moves on to the other realm, Michael Cohen will be a rich source of information about what he was really like. So I see another career option for him is being an advisor on all the movies that are going to be made about this.
And he's probably already started a book.
Yeah. I mean, so I just think that's real. Well, I think we've exhausted our topics for the night, everybody. Thank you so much. And I apologize. I think we got maybe 2 out of the 25 questions in the start section. I apologize. I hope we were entertaining, at least, even if we didn't answer your questions. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you to all of my amazing psychics for being here and lending your psychic energy to get these questions answered. And in is it 2 weeks or 3 weeks when we come back to this? Friday would be June 7th.
Yep.
So everybody mark that on your calendars. It's the first and third Friday of every month, and it's PoliTarology. And thank you so much for watching. And here we go.